give you about a 2-minute video on compound interest, just so you can kind of see it as a trial. What I'm going to be able to do is share my screen and do a few other things with you. First part I want to show you is just the basics of what the formula looks like. The compound interest formula, as you can see here, is the ending amount A equals the principal, or your starting amount, times the quantity 1 plus your rate divided by the number of times it's compounded, all raised to the nt power. And I'll explain those a little bit more in a little bit more detail. Question asks you something like, how much money would you get at the end of 2 years if you invest $1,000 at 5% interest, compounded quarterly? What about daily? How much interest would you earn? I just kind of want to guide you through one step of the process. So let's just look at a couple key things. You're investing $1,000, and $1,000 once again is going to be your P, because that's telling you how much money are you starting with. The interest rate in this case is 5%. The key thing you have to remember about it as your rate is that you would have to change that to 0.05. It's compounded quarterly, so that means you're getting a smaller amount of interest, but you're getting it 4 times. In this case, your N is 4. And it tells you in this case that you're doing it for 2 years, so your 2 years is your time. In this case, your time is 2. Just to take and plug and play it into a formula that we have right here, the ending amount that we don't know is equal to $1,000, all times the quantity 1 plus. And that 1 plus is because you want to keep the initial amount, the original $1,000 at the very beginning. You don't want to lose that. We're not focusing on just interest. All of that plus the rate 1.05. But 1/4 as much of that interest, all raised to the 4 times 2 power. What this is basically saying is you're going to have 8/4 of interest. If you took this and calculated it, you would see about how much money you would have left. I also want to show you a couple different calculators that could do that for you as well. If you take a peek at something like this, we talked about how you could have a spreadsheet to do it for you. If I were to take something like 5% interest, say I want to have daily compounds on it, starting at $15,000, you can see how very quickly the money could grow. If we did something like just our previous example, where it's compounded quarterly, starting at $1,000, $1,000 within a couple years would be $1,104 and whatnot. And there are many websites that could do the same thing, where you can type in the principal, any that you would like to add to it, the number of years you'd like it to grow, the interest rate, and how many times it would compound. The reason why I think this is important for you to be able to see is because there's lots of different applications or lots of different things that you could use with it.